Yeah, and we've seen that happen time and time again. A team doesn't qual, someone else switches up the drop. They take that, they claim it for the weekend. Sometimes temporary, other times it lasts over. It bleeds into the rest of the qual weeks or the rest of the weeks in general. Here's Illisto's hitting that nice little side grade already, or the upgrade, I should say, here. Going up to the rare pump now. Nice looking loadout for him. Extra shields to take for the road as well. And some extra upgrades here too now. Nice green AR pickup. This is looking very good. Illis, Bizzo, and Clix. They had quite a rough day today. Coming 18th place in these opens. Not necessarily the best performance from them, but, you know, the question is, can they bounce back? Grand finals, or more of the last setting, right? These final stages do tend to weigh a little bit more, and the vets do tend to also put up the points.
And Sweaty Sands has got an even bigger buff with that candy. As you can see, I think it was Illis that was carrying the 15 peppermints. That's really huge. That even though they haven't been qualifying and other teams have been dropping here at Lazy Lake, now that the teams realize, oh wait, Riversan, Dubs, and Mega are here, okay, we can't go there, that's their drop, is just incredible. And that's why, obviously, Reese has even picked them to be his win today, even though they haven't already qualified, because they are...
Yeah, definitely. There's, you know, invaluable access or you know, value in having someone like Skittles have this backup drop. And literally, remember, we're talking about a team that has been makeshifting weekend after weekend, so it is the perfect formula. It's the perfect situation for them to find success this weekend. Here's Bucky, Creo, Kanata, though, holding that high ground. It is incredible how often when the zone pulls south that they hold these dominant positions. They know better. And you can see Kanata's up here without max material. They all are. They would rather play for the... Yeah, 100%. Here's a little scrappy fight going on right now. Mars OW in the low ground. Actually, he's going to change that storyline. Shockwave's on up, trying to see if he can claim a piece of the height here as things are going to catch up for a second. You can see Nexi and Crumbler just nearby, and it's going to mix things up. Joji on the outside steps in nice and late for some shots. Mars is going to win the exchange, though, and now he's got the captive. He's taking him, throws him back into the box, and you know what they want. It's Storm Surge tags for sure here, and of course the Siphon. It ticks over. What a way to kick this battle off for him.
Big way to kick the battle off, and they've got the splashes, so maybe need to regroup a little bit here and use those splashes before things get too much crazier, because there's a lot of teams down here. There's a lot of players on this edge right now. You can see now Ghoul, Knifers teams in the distance as well, so there's a lot of eyes on this fight, but Stretch is up on those walls, applying the pressure and making sure no one can push forward.
But not only that, Saf actually answered the Elam for one of these. He actually took out Cosmic to kick this off, so it's not looking good for Team NorCal right now, who's on the run. You saw the big tags onto NorCal Doe, and that's him. He's right on the low ground, so now Saf looking to continue to follow up. Saf is putting the pressure on the table right now. He got the thirst from Zate's initial knock. Let's see, they're going into the box. He gets hit, but it's a two-way action there, and they're going to catch Sueso and Doe to conclude the battle. What a way to come back in that situation. Talk about having your teammate back you up. That's exactly what Saf did there.
Saf will always back Zay up, and Zay will always back Saf up. That duo goes back to the beginning of competitive time, and I was going to say, it was very interesting to see Saf just ARing through that wall and going into the box, but of course, I should have known better. As the second he went in, so did Stretch, so they had a plan. It wasn't just uncharacteristic aggression. They definitely had a plan for how they were going to close that one out, as Click's up on the walls right now. Someone who does have a lot of aggression, being characteristically of his aggression, and right now they've been split. That's Creo. Click takes down Creo, one of his best friends in the community. There is going to be a lot of love lost there potentially, as they wipe the whole team. Illis, Bizzle, and Clicks managed to take down Creo, Bucky, and Kanata, who were in such a dominant high ground position. I believe, I don't know whether Bucky has fallen as well. He might be that green arrow on the minimap, but at the same time, that's at least two of them that have guaranteed fallen now. Yeah, look at the loot right now. They've got the loot to do it, so we'll see it. And they've still got Riversan in the comms there. He can still tell them what to do, where to go, and that's his role on the team. Riversan is the brains of this team, which feels weird to say when, like you said, these are two of the smartest, most decorated players, but Riversan really does just have a knack when it comes to trios and just leading players to insane endgames and plays. But like I talked about a little bit earlier, oh my gosh, never mind. Mega cutting me off is like, hey, talking way too much about Riversan. I'm the one still out here. I'm the one still playing, and puts that Stark rifle to good use with insane precision. And you're right, Dubs and Mega, I want to see this team do so well here today. And the duo, I'm talking about Zate and Saf. I feel like when you talk about legendary duos, Mega and Dubs have to be up there as well, as they actually get that elimination and potentially the loot, the Harpoon coming out now. So Mega having a big switch of things there, and he's topped up to 150 builds now.
100%, and that's going to be a massive elimination. Think about what Storm Surge is going to look like as the lobby continues to stack on these quick pops right here are going to mean so much, especially for a two-man team. Now, though, Haas, oh my gosh, finds Bryce trying to hide. You can't hide here. Not next to this camper. You're not allowed in this trip here. And just like that, the shakedown's going to occur. The siphon's going to come through as well, and Bryce goes down. This also means that this weekend, finally, Haas, Paper, Chaotic, finding success at Steamy Stacks. They found it at the tail end of qualifying week number 2, and it was a struggle. It's a struggle through week 1 and following up. So maybe they finally turned that key. Maybe they have access to the door now.
Well, I think Bully's team and Slick's team, which were the two teams contesting them, didn't actually qualify. So I think we have Haz, Paper, and Chaotic having uncontested Steamy, or at least not contested by the other teams that have been causing them so many issues for the first time. And they need that. They have a lot of consistency points. They've been making the finals, but they've been really struggling in finals. And I want to see what this team can do for endgame. I'm confident they'll make heats, but let's see how they're going to perform in heats with how they play their endgames. Because we saw them play one endgame last week, Monster, the last game of the whole weekend, and they won it. After going down on spawn almost 11 times, struggling to get into the tournament, they finally got their chance. And no, I've just spent this whole time hyping them up, and they fall to Edgy. But this is Misty Meadows. Edgy sent it a commandment, have Misty Meadows on lockdown. This is their drop. They control it. They know the angles, and just like that, they find Haz. But Furious and Paper and Chaotic can still go on here and maybe pull something off. We're getting a lot of tales of duos right now.
Right on top of them, so that entire pile of players, Mega, Dubs, Riverson, right? You saw Chaotic there. All those players now have the new zone. As Mars answers a big question here. Can he find InQs? Yes, he is.
And this is crazy. Mars is one of those players, as we talked about it last week, he's been jumping way up on the leaderboard with arena points, getting a lot of attention, popping off in solos tournaments, but he's such an interesting player because he almost never plays scrims. He almost never even plays trios with his teammates. They play arena and they know how to fight, but just showing how smart they can be, they can still play these end games and still have that idea of how to get to these end games and play them properly with very little experience. Also, Bucky is still alive. Bucky was up on that mountain, so Bucky can solo clutch this up, which makes me think Clicks, Bizzle, and Illis must have pulled off some kind of shockwave, some kind of engagement, and that's what caught Kanata and Creo off guard, because I was very surprised to see those two off guard there.
Yeah, it was definitely a big question mark. Why were they down in that fight? Why were they all boxed up and taken out? Well, you see it, though. Bucky is going to manage to stay alive, and he was moving, too. He took full advantage of that bouncer there as well, so off they come. That was a long rotate. They had the peak of the mountain all the way to Misty Meadows. So that was a pretty tough one. No one to focus in on them, which means that High Ground is probably on a bit more of a passive stance. I do wonder who's up there right now. Ultimately, though, it's going to be a battle for the low ground as Illis, Clicks, and Bizzle do have to continue to figure it out here. Where is it that they're going to push through? They're going to find Mega. Mega lets his guard down. He gets taken out as well. Dubs couldn't save him.
Dubs couldn't save me, went down too fast. Illis hitting a little bit of the dance there as well. If you guys don't know, again, remember they have played together in the past, so a little bit of love lost there, but we're just seeing a tale of so many friends, so many teams, so many old teams take each other out, and I feel like that's such a tale of NA East as well. There's so many good teams, so many good players that things are always shaking up. They're always tumultuous. As we tune in now with the team we haven't seen too much of, we have Connor, Pledge, and Gage here, and they performed really well in round 2, Monster. They got I think it was 7th place overall, an insane performance.
Yeah, Connor, Gage, and Pledge here, they're also playing the play versus collegiate level as well, and they have been stomping through that. So finding a lot of success in the recent times, even in those smaller tournaments, showing that they can compete with the best of the best. Let's see now, though. They're 65 damage below the threshold. What is Gage going to do? Gage is literally the fragger of this team. Connor, the IGL, leading the TARP, as you can see, doing just that. No. Gage is going to get edited down. Oh, no. There was an enemy there. But the enemy wasn't even ready for it because they didn't catch him. What just happened?
He's back up. That's fine. I think that was Pledge there. I think Pledge maybe tried to flip a stare, not realizing the Gage was following up behind on it. So that's okay. Drop down. No mistake. We will forget about that one. We'll write that one off. The jitters are gone. They're making it into endgame, and they have 2 eliminations on the board. So they've been putting in some work, and this is what I want to see. Who's on the high ground? Saf's going across. Hasn't made the high ground just yet. Avery's still in there as well as all the builds come up. Gage gets another elimination onto a Liege. Takes down one of the Hispanic trio that I've been rooting for. They go down as well. There's Chaotic. They're finding the solos, Monster. They're getting the eliminations they need because those are instant finishes and instant refreshes.
And not only that, now it puts them above the Storm Surge. Like, they literally needed that so bad. Bucky here playing for a little bit of height, though. Okay, he's going to bounce around off to the new zone. That's actually insane to see. Clicks also trying to just do his thing here in the mid ground. Here's sent to Commandment Edgy. They're going to find P-God. What's left of the Hispanic trio? And now Ronaldo as well. Big names falling here. Literally collapsing onto full trios. Now cutting down what's left of the competition. This is looking so good as only 13 teams remain.
I just saw Bucky take down Jamper in the feed, and now Jelty. So Bucky has dropped 2 eliminations solo, so he's having a great run for himself. He is still managing to pick up points for Kanata and Creo as we get a little bit of the wide shot. Jacques, Akon, and Slacks, my team to win this, doing really well in the mid ground. Haven't gone for height, haven't gone for low. Stretch managed to capitalize on Dubs, taking down the final player in that trio as well. And we have to guess who's on high ground. It can't be Booger's team. Too many of them are falling. Maybe it's Zayt and Saf, but Commandment looking like he wants to answer my question and maybe make it him. Looks like they're switching out the shockwaves, and of course, it is Zayt, Saf, and Stretch. They're doing so well on the high ground. They've tapped out. They don't have Doom's mythical bomb, but they've already proven to us, Monster, they don't need it. And with this level of verticality, Zone's going back. It's going through old builds. It's slowing down a little bit, but it's going to ramp up really fast if this goes out in the open.
Definitely, as Connor falls there to Skittles. He went behind the wrong wall. Now Pledge is by himself as well versus Crumble in the low ground. He's going to find Pledge there. Bucky, though, leading out the rotate by himself, too. So solos on solos in a low ground. And now Pledge looking to take the box fight against Bucky as well. This is a scary low ground up the mountain situation. My gosh. And Pledge is going to find Bucky, too. Oh, my. Qual's going to catch the tabs here. This is just chaotic right now. Still, 11 teams up.
21 players alive, and this is a hard zone. This is a far south zone off a mountain, but it's gone through old builds. But this is where it starts to get dicey now. Who still has the material? Who still has something to their name? They can't hide anymore. You can't go back through those metal and those brick builds. You've got to start building your own tarps, and someone is going to find you. Saf, Zayt, and Stretch are going to see you from the high ground, and you're going to get focused. But so many of these teams performing so well from the mid ground as Stretch takes down Bizzle. So they are still up there dropping big eliminations, but this team right now has 7 eliminations on the board. A team we haven't seen much about, Monster. So big names and new names trying to jump up here. Can they overtake the Titans, though? Can they make their way from this mid-ground layer and do something about the ridiculous trio that we have on high ground above them?
Definitely, with 7 eliminations already, there's still so many teams left alive. A lot of points left on the board. COD Genesis is going to continue to answer, and so is Qual. They're just dropping players right now on this storm line, trying to make do with the situation that they have. This mountain is not forgiven. They're going to find Jock as well. It's the Siphon that keeps him up. And Saf, too. He's continuing on over, and the Siphon is going to keep him up, but Zayt is up top. Stretch is up top. You have to think everyone's going to tick over now.
You have to think everyone's going to take over, but what a run from Qua. Comes 3rd place with so many massive limits. Commandment goes in, and no, he can't do anything.
All right, we're just going to get the victory royale. Now, something we want to point out in case you are just viewing it for the first time, we have these badges on the left. If they have a badge to their name, that means they're already qualified on through to heats.
Now, past that, too, we have some of the big guys here, also called Joji Knight for Tabs G. Creo, Bucky, Kanata, who ended up getting that